But yeah, Break the Wall Esports, they do a lot for the scene, and they do a lot for Latin America. They're very passionate, very passionate. So check them out on social media. Again, Break the Wall Esports. They're on Facebook. They're on Twitter. They're not on Instagram. But yeah, they're all over the place. That's why you can see them there. Just under me, you can see Break the Wall Esports, Copa Hyperion 35. Beautiful. But here we go. The grand finals, los grand finales de Copa Hyperion number 35, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Pride of Altaris LE, we have the man himself, the Mexican Zerg player representing Timbers Esports. It is JimRising. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Pride of Altaris LE, we have the Brazilian Zerg player himself. He is red, representing Amantes de StarCraft. Let's go. It is TheZergLord. Also, I just realized that I was supposed to have their logo in game. My mistake, but there it is. Right next to the CranKy Ducklings logo is Break the Wall as well. You can see it's a wall that has been broken by the text. Beautiful. Beautiful. Break the Wall Esports. Great guys. But mate, we are popping off. How are we popping off? Well, we of course do have the goal base on the way for the ZergLord as his natural. Let's go. So hatch gas pool from both players. But of course the ZergLord being a little bit cheekier with this gold. What does this mean? He can go for a Link Flood. He's going to have a lot of minerals to work with. He's going to have to Maynard. But this is also a very exposed base, especially in ZvZ. JimRising, as soon as he sees this, he can just send Lings over. He can throw down a Mailing Nest. He can be as aggressive as possible. So the ZergLord, he's got to have a plan to protect this gold. Here we go. There's the Maynard. Jim still doesn't see anything, but eventually he will. Soon we're going to see a massive economic boom for the ZergLord. Of course, JimRising has the economic advantage right now because of the Maynard. But there we go. It's going to kick in. And Jim, he sees the gold. He knows. He sees all. Oh my god. Alright, and what is the plan going to be? A Roach Warren. Ooh, so I was thinking maybe we were going to see Ling Bane from Jim, but no, he's going straight into Roaches, and he's going to go for a very quick 2-base Roach push at this gold. Meanwhile, the ZergLord, understandably, is going for a Baneling Nest. With all of these minerals to work with, you can go one of two ways. You can go for a Mass Ling Flood or Mass Ling Bane. I guess you could try and take a third from here, and he is, but yeah, we'll see how these minerals really come into play. Especially because he's going to have a lot of minerals to work with, but not necessarily a lot of larva to work with. Oh boy. Anyway, roaches are on the way. Oh boy, roaches are already on the way. They're going to be zooming across the map, and JimRising is going to have Lings to reinforce as well. The ZergLord is aware of like something coming his way, and he's making his own Lings, so at least he will have some kind of army to defend. Oh boy, here we go. Just nothing but Lings from the side of the ZergLord. JimRising cut drones at 22 drones. That's barely anything. And can these roaches get the job done? I'm worried that there may be enough Lings to surround them. As the roaches do get scattered by this Overlord, the ZergLord, he sees them coming. He knows. He's getting ready. He's even going to have Banelings to deal with the reinforcing Lings. Oh, it's beautiful, mate. It's beautiful. Oh, here we go. The ZergLord, he wants to go for this round, and he kind of will. Banelings are going to roll on in, but you don't want to waste Banelings on roaches. And there are not enough Lings. Not yet. Ooh, the first Baneling gets sniped. And the roaches get into the mineral line. They're denying mining. There's just not enough Lings. Oh my god. And now the roaches, they have the surface area. Baneling's going to roll in, and oh my god, they're going to connect with the roaches. Not the best connections that you want to be hoping for, but they do soften up those roaches. But there's just so many reinforcements. It's too much. GG. And that is why you don't see Zerg players take golds in ZvZ. Oh my god. Roaches rocked up and there was just no answer. You know what they could have been? And I know it's hindsight is 2020. When you have that many minerals to work with, throw down some spines. Just throw down the spines, mate. Spines plus lings plus queens plus banelings maybe is enough to hold on. But just with pure Ling Bane and a single queen, it just wasn't enough at that gold. Again, once those roaches got into the mineral line, that was it. It was over. You just cannot get the surface area you need. Those roaches are going to trade so well, and GG. Well played by Jim. Really well executed. Goal base and ZvZ, mate. It's so hard. Even on Blackburn, it's so hard to make it work. It's easier on Blackburn, to be fair. It is easier. But typically that happens if you go just like straight up Ling Bane, you know, and you're just in the face of your opponents. Ugh. But here we go. We're diving into game number 2, and JimRising only needs one more, uno más, to be our Copa Hyperion champion. Let's go. Meanwhile, just want to quickly exclamation mark Funada Darking in the chats, because Darking was supposed to show up eventually, but looks like it was not meant to be. We're here, we're already in the grand finals, and he is nowhere to be seen. But here we go. Spawning in the bottom left hand corner of 2000 atmospheres LE, we have the Mexican Zerg player, currently up 2-0, only needs uno más to be our champion today. Representing Timbers Esports, it is JimRising. And spawning in the top right hand corner of 2000 atmospheres LE, we have the Brazilian Zerg player representing Amantes de StarCraft. It is, TheZergLord. And for the first time today, JimRising is going for a pool first. Crazy. Okay, so this pool first, it looks like a regular safety pool first. He's not getting early gases, so he's playing this out safe. And as he plays this out safe, massive shout out to Grand Pahomef? No, Pahomf? I don't know. Oh god, thank you so much for the gifted sub, as he does gift it to Paco Mike. Gracias, gracias amigo. Thank you so much. We appreciate the support, and I'm sure Paco Mike appreciates the sub. With the Twitch sub, you gain access to all of our emotes, and we have a lot of them. They're very cute, they're very duck related, they're amazing, they're beautiful, and you also gain access to replay packs. You gain replay packs of this very tournament of Sentimiento Latino, Battle of the Americas, Copa Hyperion, GPO, all the tournaments that we have permission to share replays, we do. So, there you go. Thank you so much. Meanwhile, again, with this pool first, it looks like, again, it was just for early queens and early lings if need be. If the ZergLord went for a 12 pool, JimRising would have such a big advantage to shut it down. So JimRising opted to open up a little bit inefficiently, but just to be safe. And he is safe. He is safe. Meanwhile, the ZergLord a little bit more ahead because he just went for a more standard hatch gas pool opening. So he already has ling speed on the way, already has that gas advantage. But that's where I look at Jim and I have to wonder, is he going to skip ling speed? And so far it looks like he is. 120 gas. Goes for the lair. Let's go. Up. Oh my god, I think he saw. The ZergLord slips in and he does see the lair. Ah, that was such a clutch scout there by the ZergLord. Beautifully done. He sees that a lair is on the way and he confirms that ling speed has been skipped. So what does the ZergLord do from here? Well, one, take a third base, and you have to be on top of your scouting, because you need to see how many gases are being taken to figure out, is it going to be roaches or is it going to be mutas? As we see, +1 range is on the way, and the gases at the natural were not taken, so JimRising is going for 2 base Roach. Again, I would love to see mutas, but mutas are not what we are seeing. Lair finishes up just in time, and yeah, gases are finally being taken. This Roach Warren honestly is a little bit late. It's interesting that Jim decided to rush out +1 range instead, prioritize that over the roaches, which means that roach speed is going to be a little bit delayed. So a little bit wonky in the execution, but good enough, good enough. I can see Paco Mike in the chat. Yes, yes, you got the sub. You got the sub. And the ZergLord, is going for his own lair as well. Also +1 range, so we are going to be seeing Roach versus Roach. Of course, Jim isn't necessarily all in with this. From here, you can get a nice Roach count, you can push out, and you can take a third base behind it. It does mean that your third is late, but again, it is still very possible to catch up. But, this says otherwise. We are going to be seeing that Nidus. Very bold move. Very bold move. The ZergLord has eyes on the third, by the way, on both third bases. So, because he recognizes there is no third, he shouldn't drone up too much. I feel like 47 is enough. It's more than enough. You're done. You're done, the ZergLord. Stop droning up. Make roaches. Make nothing but roaches, and he should be fine. The Nidus does throw a spanner in the works because it's possible for JimRising to outposition the ZergLord with the Nidus. Meanwhile, the ZergLord, he dives in to try and scout. So far, he hasn't seen anything of note. He confirms the lack of gas in the main, so he knows it's still not Spire, but he does not see the Nidus, and the Nidus is on the way right outside the third of JimRising. Sorry, of the ZergLord. Where the ZergLord is waiting with his roaches. Like, again, in a head-on engagement, I think the ZergLord is fine. Like, we have equal upgrades. Jim has roach speed, but that's it. That's all he's got. I don't know about this Jim. He's gonna try and push in. He does have the concave. Does trade a little bit more efficiently, and he's trying to break through. But with the defender's advantage, like, Jim is just running into a brick wall. Like, there's just no way that he breaks. In the end, Jim is the one being broken. Jim is forced all the way back. We are seeing an Overlord into the main base, but we already have roaches here to defend. Again, the ZergLord was so diligent when it came to his scouting. He was so clinical when it comes to droning up and stopping, and there it is. GG. GG gets called. The ZergLord fights back. And we have a series. He will not get 3-0'd. Not today. Not today. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. For the English speakers in the chat, Paco Mike said, he was answering, hey, why didn't you sign up for today's tournament? He's like, I was working, estaba trabajando. A ver si el otro viernes hay Sentimiento Latino, me meto. He's saying, we'll see. Next Friday, if there's a Sentimiento Latino, I'll jump in. I'll jump in. We'll hold you to that, Paco Mike. Screenshot it. Paco Mike, don't let us down. Next Sentimiento Latino, you gotta be there. You gotta be there, man. We need to see some Paquito. Some Paco vid. Oh, God. Here we go. As we dive into game number 4 of this series. Again, Jim still just needs one more win, but the ZergLord is still an amazing player. He cannot be done dirty by a 2-base all-in. Not like that. Not like that. But yes, we're going to hold you to that, Paco Mike. Don't make promises you can't keep. But here we go. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Hardwire LE, we have the Mexican Zerg player. He is blue, representing Timbers Esports and Los Macacos all over the entire world. Currently up 2-1 in this series, it is JimRising. And spawning. In the bottom left-hand corner of Hardwire LE, we have the Brazilian Zerg player representing Amantes StarCraft and making a series out of this, not being taken out 3-0. Fighting back, it is the ZergLord. This time, with regular hatch timings. Let's go! Both players going for hatch firsts, no early pools, no crazy shenanigans, and we should be seeing even the gases taken at regular times. There we go. So everything looking pretty standard here in game number 4. Just like last time, the ZergLord is playing it a little bit safer. He does throw down his spawning pool at the edge of his creep, again to make spine rushes that little bit safer. I mean, that little bit more awkward. So the ZergLord just playing safe with his building positionings. Nothing too crazy, nothing too crazy. And now here we are on Hardwire. Hardwire! Not the biggest or the smallest map. It's pretty in the middle when it comes to the rest of the maps in the map pool. And I would love to see Muta play on a map like this. Not gonna lie, not gonna lie. It's not as obvious as like Pride of Altaris or Glittering Ashes, but I feel like you can get away with some early defenses. The problem is that the ZergLord has been so good at scouting recently. Like his Lings, they just keep getting in. His Overlords as well, his Overseers. Like he's been very good at keeping an eye on what Jim has been doing. Sometimes it doesn't matter, and sometimes he just loses anyway, but like at least in the last game, like it was great the way that he was responding and scouting and confirming what Jim was doing. It was very well done. That's something that I'm sure we could all do better at, and that is scouting and responding, right? It's half the game. It's half of StarCraft, really. Meanwhile, once again, Jim staying on 2 bases that little bit longer. It's just what he does. You know, it doesn't mean that he's going for a 2-base all-in necessarily. He's just more comfortable defending on 2 bases longer, and I think a lot of it does come down to the fact that he doesn't enjoy Ling Bane. Like, when you take a 3rd base at a time like the ZergLord, then you incentivize the other player to go for a Ling Flood, and then you have to make your own Banelings, and then you have to go into Ling Bane and defend and counterattack. It seems like JimRising doesn't enjoy that portion of ZvZ, so he avoids it by delaying his 3rd and going straight into Roaches. Which is understandable. Like, Ling Bane does invite a whole other skill set, you know, your micro, your attention, your map awareness. Ling Bane can be very, very intense. Meanwhile, +1 melee is on the way. And Jim is banking up a lot of Lings. He cut drones at 27. The ZergLord is none the wiser. He's droning up. He's confirming the lack of 3rd. He's checking the back. Oh, he sees. He knows. Oh my god. And now what is the response going to be? JimRising is playing across the map with all his Lings. The ZergLord, you got to wall off. The Queen is on the way. And it looks like he will wall off in time. +1 is still a ways away. JimRising, he's setting himself up with this lair to go into Mutas behind this. Lings are about to rock up. 3rd base is forfeit. And there's not enough energy for a transfuse. The Lings, they can kill the Queen. And they can break in. Oh, nice micro there, though. The ZergLord, he just barely pulls back with his injured Queen. Barely. He'll still lose them. But he holds on longer than he otherwise could have. There we go. Both Queens do end up getting picked off. No Queen here at the natural at all. Only one in the main. And the 3rd base did go down. Behind this, +1 range. Oh, he's not going Mutas. I thought he was going to take his gases, but he's playing the safer. I like it. Like, Roaches are on the way from the ZergLord. Trying to go into Mutas from here, it's risky. Not impossible, just risky. Oh boy, and now JimRising is getting his own 3rd base. +1 melee about to finish up. All the gases are being taken. We do see a scout. The ZergLord confirms the timing of the lair. But there it is. There is Roach speed. I was still hoping maybe Mutas, but nah. It's gotta be Roaches. It's gotta be Roaches. Yo, and +1 melee in a couple of seconds. He gets a nice surround, a beautiful surround. Focuses down the hatchery. There are still too many roaches though. I don't think +1 melee was necessary. It finally finishes, but it looks like it's not going to come into play. Imagine if +1 melee was +1 range instead, you know? And then we'd see a much stronger roach transition, but yeah. Melee didn't really do anything. Maybe we'll see it do something later on. Maybe a Ling run by will get a bunch more drone kills, but at the moment it's not really doing much. And the ZergLord is going for a counterattack. Will he turn around? No, he will not. The Lings do rush in and they're gonna get a roach. One roach, not bad. But the ZergLord, he's here across the map. He has a massive supply lead. Uh-oh. Upgrades are in favor of the ZergLord. And now he's pushing on forward. Oh my god, Jim, please! Oh god. He did so much with his Lings earlier, and the Lings would have been great here defensively, but there are just so many roaches for the ZergLord. He dives in, completely dominating the roaches of Jim. A couple of reinforcements are coming out, but will he have enough? Looks like so far he will, but oh god, the reinforcements, the wave comes in! And now the ZergLord's going to make a choice. He goes to the Queen. And he could go for these drones if he wanted to. Oh, there we go. He does go for them. The longer this takes, the better chance Jim has at coming back, but oh god, it's just so difficult. It's so difficult to pull off. Roach is going down left and right. And it looks like it's going to be too much. It looks like the ZergLord does have too much. Like, going for a massive Ling flood like that, it's very important to note that JimRising cut a lot of drones to make that happen, and killing a third, it wasn't enough, especially when he delayed his own. And in the end, the roach counterattack was just going to be far too strong here. Yeah, it's just, Jim just can't get enough. Like, it's just a numbers game, you know? They're just more roaches. Well, what more could you ask for? Feels bad, man. Feels bad. I love how cheeky Jim was being, but it was a little bit too cheeky. GG gets called, and the ZergLord, he is doing it. He's taking it all the way to the ace match. GG. Again, that Ling flood was so committed. He needed more. He needed, like, I'm sure Jim wanted to kill those queens and then get into the base and get some drones, but he never got into the natural. The ZergLord, his defenses were just too good. Too good. And now we're in the ace match. Jim is being punished for his aggression. The last game, he went for a 2-base all-in. This game, went for a Ling flood. These all-ins are not working, and Jim has to get that through his head. He's got to be like, mate, you got to approach this in a different way. But now, time is up. Game 5. Ace match. This is where it all comes down. It all comes down to this. JimRising, he's got to rethink his strategy. He cannot cheese out the ZergLord. Not like this. Meters? Mutas? Maybe. Just saying. Oh boy. Here we go. Players are getting ready to dive in to game number 5. It's going to be on Glittering Ashes. What I will say, Glittering Ashes, one of the largest maps in the map pool. You know what that kind of leans towards? Mutas, mate. Mutas. Mutas. Let's go. Come on, Jim. Make it happen. Oh boy. Here we go. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Glittering Ashes LE, we have our very own Mexican streamer, League of Legends Pro. Sometimes he plays StarCraft. Representing Timbers Esports, and always Los Macacos, always. It is JimRising. And spawning in the top right hand corner of Glittering Ashes Ellie. This man was down 0-2. This man was about to be knocked out. Can he make the reverse sweep a reality? He has fought himself back all the way to the ace match. Can he close it out? Representing Amantes de StarCraft and the land of Brazil, it is TheZergLord. Oh. Oh my god. No early pulls, no early gases, nothing crazy. Not yet. There we go. I was like, mate, where's the gas? There it is, there it is. Hatch gas pool. And now we have to look at our players. Again, JimRising has been so aggressive. He wanted to end things early. He wanted to go back to playing Minecraft. That's all he wanted. He wanted to go back to League of Legends. To what else does he play? To react content, you know? He is the streamer. But he can't do it. He's being punished for it. You can't do the ZergLord dirty like that. He's a great player. He demands your respect. And that's why he's here in the ace match, you know? The ZergLord, he's not a streamer. He takes StarCraft seriously. He practices. Unheard of, I know. He's not playing Age of Empires. He's playing StarCraft, and on that merit, I kind of want the ZergLord to win. I kind of want to be like, hey, hard practice pays off. But Jim, he did do the hard practice years ago when he was a pro player. He went to America. He went and lived in the root house. He grinded hours and hours and hours. He was in a team house. JimRising, he's got a lot of history with StarCraft, and he's put in a lot of hours, a lot of his life. Nowadays, not as much, but, you know, he did put in the work at some point. And he retained a lot of that skill. That's why he can perform as well as he does, with practicing as little as he does. Is that going to be enough to carry him, though? That's the question. We'll see, as once again, he skips Link Speed and goes for 2 base layer. He's going for the Jim special. But what kind of special is it going to be? Juanito's not here. We don't have any Terrans, only Zerg players. Here we go, gases are being taken. All 3 gases, not the 4th gas, not yet. Meanwhile, the ZergLord, again, he wants to scout. Is he going to get in? He confirms the gases at the natural. That's already a bit of a tell. Can he get into the main? Oh, he will not. He does not see the lair, but he can deduce the lair. Man, why are you taking so many gases when you're not getting a lair, you know? So he has seen, he has a bit of the picture. He doesn't see the full picture, but a little bit of it. Meanwhile, keeping an eye on this Evo chamber, JimRising does have enough resources to start +1 range if he wanted to. But opts not to get the upgrade. Also being very aggressive with these queens, denying as much of a scout, and this is what I was alluding to. No +1 range, that can only mean one thing. Spire play. This is what I wanted. Glittering Ashes is such a large map. If you want to go mutas, this is the map to do it on. It's the safest map to do it on. So JimRising taking full advantage of the map and going for the 2 base muta play. It's something that we wanted to see all day, and finally we get it in the ace match. It's beautiful. Ah, it's amazing. And does the ZergLord see it? No, he doesn't. I love it. Oh, the deception. I love it. The upgrades get started when the links show up. Why? To sell a story. To try and tell the ZergLord, I'm going roaches. That's all I'm doing. There's nothing to see here. And then they get cancelled as soon as the links get away. So the ZergLord, as good as his scouting is, it's not good enough. He has no idea that mutas are on the way. So we don't see any spores. We don't see a hydrodem. We don't see queen production. We have 1 queen for each base, and that is it. That is not going to be enough. These mutas need to be seen. The ZergLord, he tries to get in, and it looks like he will. Finally, the Spire gets scouted. Mutas are already on the way, but the ZergLord has a little bit of a heads up. Boom! Infestation Pit. Infestors are going to be on the way for those fungals. Spores on the way. He is responding. He's respecting that Spire. So important that he came in for the scout. It was a late scout, don't get me wrong. It was late, but at least it was there. So the ZergLord won't just fall over and die. Ooh. Meanwhile, mutas are coming out. They're going to be able to clean up all these overlords, all these overseers. And now we look at Jim. What does he do from here? Despite having all these evos, no upgrades. What does that tell us? He just wants to make mutas. He's not going Lings, he's not going Roaches. Nothing but mutas are on the way for Jim. He is the muta king, of course. Oh god, he's going full rancio, mate. Let's go. Mutas are about to show up. We have one spore. Is one spore enough? I mean, when we have micro like Jim's, no, it is not. Chips away a little bit at these roaches without taking any damage. Nicely done. Hydroden is on the way. There it is. +1 range. Sorry, +1 melee and a Baneling Nest. He is going to go Ling Bane Muta against the Hydras. Oh, couple of free Overlords. Not bad. Oh, beautiful target fire. He does get 2. Can he get more? Evo Chamber is exposed. Goes for the drones instead. Takes a little bit of damage. Loses 1 muta. Loses 2. But 2 mutas for 11 drones? Worth it, mate. Well worth it. Jim getting a lot of damage done. But the infestors that are out. You gotta respect the infestors. You have to be careful with how you dance. Quickly checking the vision here. Jim, did he see the infestation pit? He did. He saw all the production. He saw all the tech. So he should be aware that fungals are going to be a thing, and he has to be careful. Oh boy. And that's where the Lings come in. That's where the Banelings come in. Let's go. Baneling speed on the way. We're going to see some run bys. We do have roaches in position, but honestly, not that many roaches. I do think that Jim can find a way into the mineral line. Meanwhile, mutas are trying to find a way into the natural base, trying to find some damage. They do find a queen. Ooh, don't commit. Jim being caught between 2 hard places. He does get 2 queens. Meanwhile, the Banelings roll in. Oh god! They connect. 11 more drones go down. Where are the fungals? We do have a beautiful fungal on top of the mutas, but you know what? There are enough mutas to kill the queens. Chance fuse is not enough. Mate, Jim doesn't care about your fungals at all. There were not enough queens. They all get taken out. The queen count gets reset. Hydras are coming up, but it's too late. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The ZergLord. The ZergLord, he's falling apart. Where's the anti-air? It's non-existent, and now the Lings are flooding in. No! +1 Lings are wreaking havoc here. The ZergLord has nothing to defend. Hydras finally come out, but not before so many drones have fallen. And these infestors, they need more energy. Oh my god. I thought JimRising was going to dive on them, but he didn't have enough to dive. Not yet. And mate, Jim is just running circles around the ZergLord. For the most part. Again, the ZergLord, this army is getting kind of scary. Like one good fungal, and the ZergLord can still win a fight. Even though he's hurting. Meanwhile, the mutas, they dive in, they do get a spore. The ZergLord, does he turn around? No, he doesn't turn around. He's going for the base trade. He's sending it. Let's go. He's given up on his 3rd base. He's given up on his bases at home. The infestors, oh my god, they have to be so careful of the mutas. They want them so bad. Oh god. Here we go, we have Banelings ready and waiting. They're looking to try and dive in. Oh my god, the fungals are looking okay, but the Banelings finding connections. Oh my god, the Banelings connect with everything. Every single Hydra goes down. GG gets called. The ZergLord, he fought so hard coming back, taking it all the way to the ace match. He fought himself up from the lower bracket as well. But it didn't even matter. GG, Jim, he does it with what he does best, with his mutas. He is the muta king for a reason. This man can go 2-base muta like no other and make it work. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations, Jim. Jimbo Jimena. He is our champion. Copa Hyperion number 35. Congratulations. Congratulations, Jim. Well deserved. And welcome back. Welcome back to StarCraft. I know Jim has been on a hiatus. He's been busy playing other games, but hopefully this reignites his inner flame and he can be a little bit more active, not just in these tournaments, but also on the ladder and maybe improving and maybe in DreamHack Summer for 2022. Ooh, I am definitely excited. So yeah, it's great to see Jim doing well. It's great to see him doing well, and again, honestly, pretty shaky. Regardless, like, I want to bring things back a little bit. Jim almost lost to Neo Shaggy. Let's remember this. Neo Shaggy popped off and also went to the ace match against Jim. And if you remember, there was that game where Neo Shaggy accidentally went for a link bud. I say accidentally, it was a questionable move. But there's a world where maybe Neo Shaggy takes out Jim, and that changes everything. So I think what I want to say is that it's great to see all these other players improving and doing well. Neo Shaggy, Facebook, they recently hit GM and they are improving and they're getting impressive results. Obviously, we still have the old guard like Jim and TheZergLord standing strong, but that next generation of Latin American players, they're right there. They're right there. They haven't broken in yet, but they're working on it. You know, Neo Shaggy, Facebook, maybe even Password, maybe White Idra. Like, there's a lot of Masters 1 low GM players in Latin America, and I want to see them improve and do well, and I can't wait. I can't wait for DreamHack. DreamHack Summer. That's where they're all going to pop off. And we're going to find out if any one of them can break in. Speaking of the more established players, like, I want to be looking at Davo. You know, Davo was so close last season. He was so close. We need more Terran representatives here in Latin America, and Davo's been doing well. But Davo was also missing today, you know? Davo, add him on Twitter. Where was he? You know, we need to see all these guys come back. So hopefully we do. Hopefully we do in the coming weeks. And if you want more Latin American StarCraft, Sentimiento Latino is going to be next week. Same time, same place on this channel. But before we get talking about other tournaments, massive shout out to TokXavier and Break the Wall Esports for running this tournament, for running Copa Hyperion. If it wasn't for them, the Latin American scene would be in a much worse place, you know. Sentimiento Latino has always been around, or has been around for many years. Copa Hyperion is a lot newer, and together they kind of join forces and they do a lot for Latin America. So yeah, GG. GG. Again, I mentioned it earlier. Unfortunately, there's no Matcherino page for this tournament, so there's no way to directly support this tournament. But again, just, you know, follow the places on social media. Break the Wall Esports, OSC Esports on Twitter, on Facebook. And if you want to support us here on the CranKy Ducklings, then we have a Patreon. We have our Patreon page set up. We've had it for a very long time. Well, we get some support there. We could do with some more support. Our Patreon is set up so we can run our tournaments and eventually pay our casters. We're not there yet, but one day I do hope to be there with our Patreon. You can always subscribe here on Twitch as well. We always appreciate the support that we get from all of our subscribers, like Paco Mike, like Lord Loken, for sure as well, ARJ Skater, Vidnantok, some great people in the chat. And yeah. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's tournament. Again, it was a little bit of a shorter broadcast and a bit light when it comes to the player signups, but the quality of matches were still there. And hey, don't forget everyone to Fonada Paco Mike in the chat, because he said that he'll be here next week to play in Sentimiento Latino. So hold him to it. He better be there. He better be there. We need some Protosses, you know? Bro, watch Jim's stream. He's doing the muta dance. Of course he is. Hopefully someone can clip it and show it to us. I'll check out Jim's VOD later on. God, that's the best thing about Jim. Jim, he may not be the best player, but he's the best dancer. He's got some nice moves. His ceremonies and his celebrations they're on point. Beautiful. Chef's kiss. Best thing about Jim. Oh god. He's doing the Little Mermaid pose. What does that even mean? What does that mean? Oh boy, oh boy. But with that, thank you everyone for watching. Shout out to Yaku in the chat. Hopefully Yaku can stream at some point. But thank you everyone for the support. Our next broadcast is going to be tomorrow. Tomorrow, Yaku and myself, we're going to be covering ESL Open Cup Asia. That's going to be our next tournament. So if you want some Korean StarCraft, tune into that. If you want some Latin American StarCraft, next week, Sentimiento Latino, we are going to be there. And eventually, our own tournaments are going to come back as well. So we're slowly reintroducing all of our tournaments to 2022. Eventually, we'll get up and running. We're still kind of on a break, and we're still working on a lot of things behind the scenes. Still refining a lot of things as well. But eventually, we will catch up, and we'll be back in full production mode for StarCraft for you guys. So thank you everyone for watching. If you want some more StarCraft, I know we're not casting as much recently as we usually do. Check out our YouTube channel. Our YouTube has been popping off. We've been getting a lot of subscribers, a lot of new viewers, and all of our VODs are being uploaded to YouTube. Recently, yesterday, we started uploading our BTL VODs, which is a team league that the CranKy Ducklings played in. So if you want to tune in to Oreo, Starduck, Eric, Ryu, Neo, all of our Ducklings, Patty Mac, all of our Ducklings competing in a team league representing the CranKy Ducklings, then check out the BTL VODs. They're very entertaining matches, and very entertaining casters. I got Chase to cast. I think I got Yaku at one point. I got Kuro, Neo, Oreo, Starduck. Like, everyone kind of came on to cast a little bit, and it was a lot more laid back and a lot more fun. So yeah, I recommend it. Highly recommend it if you have the chance. So yes, thank you everyone for watching. We appreciate the support, and we will see you tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you. We'll see you then. Ciao. Ciao, ciao, ciao.